There it is.
We're live?
Yes. Your audio is all good. I've done the
Yes.
whole thing. We're grand.
Okay, nice. Then I'm going to say, well, hello there.
Hello.
Ah,
I didn't have
how are
anything
you?
today, so I just...
That's fine. That's, it works. Drinking your water, nice.
I'm trying to be better at that.
Well done. Well
I
done.
ate so much bread and carbs yesterday. I was on the couch just in the evening, like, it was too much. Too much.
Too much. Yes, it's not good. It's not good for the body. Do you want to introduce our lovely little podcast?
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to All the Films We Judged Before. I'm Katie. That is Lily Kay. Just in case you were wondering, it's her.
Yeah. Welcome.
Kind of wacka.
Don't ask. It's been a long day. I shouldn't be talking about this, even though my horrible boss doesn't know any English, so and she's never gonna watch this. But I spent the whole day at work watching Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous.
Aren't you planning on quitting anyway?
I am, so it's it's all good. But yeah, it was a long day. It's a long day, but it was fun for me. Of course, it was the day because usually no one comes in. Like I literally just sit there and nothing happens. But of course today, and I want to watch my show. People were coming in constantly, and I was like, "Fuck off!" No, I was.
How dare you come in whilst I am trying to watch my show?
I was nice, okay? I'm a nice person. Just don't disturb me when I watch my show. That's it.
Arguably, there's a really easy fix for this, and that's to not watch Netflix while you're working.
I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. Anyway, fun times. What did you watch last week? Other than
God, it has actually. Yeah, yes, I have still been watching Black Sails, but like not much. I've just been doing like an episode or two, like a day. I'm not very far. I'm still on season 1. I started Lost in Space. Just for you.
Yeah.
I've only watched the 2 episodes so far, but I do. It's good. I like it. Yeah, it's very odd for me hearing Toby Stephens with American accent. Like it threw me off immediately. Like it's a good American accent, but it doesn't sound like him. So I'm like.
But he's great.
Oh yeah, he's great. Obviously. I already told you. I already am a little bit. What's her name? Maureen.
Maureen, yeah.
Yeah, because in my head I'm thinking about Miranda, but Miranda's in Black Sails.
It's Maureen.
That's Maureen. I don't like hate her, but there are a couple of things I'm like,
She's a bit.
For the listeners, I made a face.
Yes. She's hard to like at the beginning.
I imagine she's going to develop, which as all good characters in television do.
Yes. It took me a bit to get used to her. I was like a bit on edge with her, so I was like, yeah, fan.
I already like both of the daughters.
Oh my god, yes.
I mean, I like Will as well, but like immediately meeting it's Penny and oh god, I can't remember the other girl's name. It's only been 2 episodes. I'm very bad with names.
I am horrible with names, so even though it's one of my favorite shows, don't expect anything from me.
They're both amazing anyway.
They are both amazing, yes. Oh, my phone decided to die, so I can't even check. Fun days. Wait.
Wait.
Okay, it did it. It woke up.
What? Is it Judy? Because my brain just immediately was like, right, Judy in, and I was
the one.
Like,
yeah. And it's played by the fantastic Taylor Russell, who I adore. She's great. Yeah, she's so great. But everyone is so great. Did you already met Don?
Is he the guy with the chicken?
Yes.
Yes.
I love Don.
Okay, good. That's nice to know.
He's great.
I did find it very funny that they were just like, there's a chicken in here, and it's like, no explanation? No. It's just a chicken.
A chicken is a very important part of the whole story. So just get used to the chicken.
I mean, I'm already used to the chicken. I found the fact that there was no actual introduction to the chicken other than there's chicken on the ship. And I was like, okay.
Yes. Yes, and we have to protect the chicken. That's very important.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. I will get into it properly. I just haven't had I don't understand how people like juggle shows. It's very strange. And because I need if I'm doing a show, I kind of want to just do the one show. But for some reason, I've decided to do both shows, and I don't know how to do it.
It's fair. It's fair. I used to know how to do it when I was watching like proper broadcast TV.
Right, but that's when it only comes out once a week.
Yeah. But when you do it like this, it's not working
It's
for me either.
hard.
It's not working. Well, it's working with things that are coming out, one episode per week nowadays, like wrestling.
Yeah, I do. I'm struggling. I still struggle with that. There are 3 episodes of Barry I still haven't watched. I'll get to them one day. To be fair, they all came out around a very sort of tumultuous period.
Fair.
For me.
Fair.
But
that's fair.
So you've been watching Westworld?
Yes. Oh my god. And this, because I was a bit on edge with it because we have 4 episodes that went down already. And the first 3 was all right, I would say. Like it didn't really excite me. Like even on the 3rd episode, I was even a bit bored. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like, okay. And then
I heard a little bit about episode 4. I think it was episode 4 anyway from my dad.
It is. Yes.
Minor spoilers for just anybody, but I want to clarify that this is the right episode. So maybe spoilers for season 4 of Westworld. Dad said they went back to the park and they were replaying scenes, but like from a different perspective. And I thought that sounded
that's
really...
episode 3.
Oh, okay.
3. Yes.
In which case, I have no idea what episode 4 is about.
Oh my god, episode 4 is like where they switched it up, and I was like, we're back, we're finally back, and I loved it so much. I was like, oh, this was so good. It's
maybe one day I'll actually go back to catching up.
This one was genuinely as good as season 1.
Ooh, I did like season 1 a lot. I'm still obsessed with the music from season 1. I listen to that a lot, especially it like even just the opening, not the opening sequence music, but the music that plays whilst he's on the train. That opening bit, so good. Like fully obsessed. I listen to that so much.
That's fair. And yeah, they went back to that feeling and to that story building and everything, and I was like,
nice.
And Aaron Paul and my beloved Tandy Van Newton is just the best thing ever on this show. Like, so much chemistry. They are so good together.
I don't know, because I don't know anything about it. Amazingly, I've managed to miss basically all plot spoilers for season 3. I have no idea what's been going on.
Fair. That's fair.
I don't know how I've managed this, but I have no clue.
You did. But I recommend catching up on it because season 3 is a bit weaker than the other seasons. But this
I think that's probably why, to be honest, that I haven't heard anything, because I didn't remember anybody really talking about it.
Yeah, it was a bit weak. But this one is like coming back very strongly, and I'm like, love it.
Nice.
Love it. So I watched that. Obviously, I watched Camp Cretaceous, and I literally sent you the clip that made me the happiest person in the world. Because, spoilers, it literally came out today. So if you love Jurassic World and Camp Cretaceous, like, go away for like 5 minutes, go to the loo or something until I talk about it, because I realized that this is a live stream. Or if you're listening back, just skip 5 minutes, I guess. Who knows how long. So basically, one of the characters, because it's about 6 kids stuck on the island, is the Nobler. But one of them, just came out as bisexual.
Woo!
And it was so beautifully built up. I think she had the best storyline, like throughout all the seasons. She had in season 4, she had the post-traumatic stress syndrome. In this one, she's trying to find herself, and she realizes that she's in love with Sammy, and it's like, it was so beautifully done. Like they managed to build it up through, like, I think it was 3 episodes, and the result in the end was just like beautiful, just perfect. and I'm going to share because I actually finished the season, the last episode, which is the very last episode because this was the last season of the show. Is that the kids are obviously they go home. And
They are alive.
they are alive, and to my absolute joy, they aged them up. So there's like a proper prologue at the end where they are
Epilogue.
like epilogue. That's the one.
Prologue comes before the story.
Yeah. Where they are like, I would say like 20, 21 years old, and you know they are living life and still in contact and whatnot. Sammy and Yaz are still together. Ben is back with Bumpy, who's one of the dinos, an ankylosaurus on the island. And, you know, Kenji and Darius are living together because Kenji is left without a dad at the end, which is very sad. But it's a whole story and it was very good. I'm very glad that I watched this because it was delightful.
You can come back now, audience, if
Yes.
if you wanted to
Come
miss
back.
the spoilers.
Come back. It was almost 5 minutes. No, it wasn't. It's like 4. Yeah. Oh, whatever. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, and I watched Thor again, and I wanted to mention this.
Oh yeah,
that-
because I was so happy that because you literally texted me, goes, you know, and I was like,
You know, ... My typical way of going about things. And I was like, it was actually a much better the second time around. Still needs a lot more Christian Bale. That's all I'm
well,
saying.
I think we both agree on that. But I'm
Yeah.
very glad that you maybe got more of a sense of the way that I saw it the first time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I cried.
Oh, sweet!
It happened.
Hooray!
Because at first I was like, I didn't even cry. I remember texting you then, like, I didn't even cry, which is like a huge mistake when it comes to me. Like, you need to make me cry. And it wasn't there. And now the second time around, I cried my eyes out. So, yeah.
I think it is a movie that just requires you to know the mood of it going into it, and then you can just enjoy what it's doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, happy days. And now it is time to talk about...
Hard segue.
I know.
We're done now, boys.
Boys, done. Because that's why we're here at the end of the day, to talk about these beautiful people and their mad story. And I will start with you.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of season 3?
I
Just very vaguely.
Okay,
first.
very vaguely. First, I'll say I really liked it. I
Mm.
do think that season 2 was a stronger season overall so far. That's I think my biggest thought. I mean, it's still great. It's still great television, but I think season 2 season 2 was just generally stronger. I remember having more of a reaction to season 2 than I felt like I had from season 3. But overall, I mean, it was really good. I mean, he was really great. He really was really great.
He was really great. That's fair.
But what about you?
I think same in some ways. Like, you know, season 3 is still like just up there being the best so far. But there were some points where I was like started to go like,
There's a couple of things I feel like that have, I don't know, that they've clearly set up to be something, but they're like, okay, we're not going to do anything with this yet, and they just kind of leave it behind. Yes. I'll go into specifics when we decide to go into specifics. But yeah, maybe it's just because the minor spoilers, but not really spoilers. The season ends quite kind of calmly, comparatively speaking. It's not like a massive cliffhanger.
Yeah,
which is fine. It's odd. It's odd. I liked it
for the boys.
Yeah.
It's odd. Yeah. I think I agree. If you hear talking, my window is open.
I don't hear anything.
Good, because I can hear them and they are talking so loudly that it annoys me. But anyways, I have to agree. It's a bit odd how the season finale is, but I didn't mind it.
I think I texted you and I said that I wasn't as impressed. I can't remember.
I think
how I said it, but I was like,
eh.
It was a bit. But I don't mean that in like a it's bad or it just.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt to me like there was a punch missing this season that I usually get from the boys. Like a really. I mean, they had it in places. There were a couple of things that did actually make me want to curl up into a ball. Like, oh god, so cringy. But like the sort of the punch that you think I usually get from the boys wasn't quite there for me.
I think that I have to
you
agree
think.
with yes. I have to agree with a lot of people who said that they took too much time to introduce Soldier Boy like properly into the boys, and maybe they dragged out the first 3 episodes a bit much. Like, I understand the build up and everything, but it felt like that we could have just left out a few things. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, you're not gonna like this. I didn't like the side Frenchie storyline that was put in there. I'm sorry. I know you like Frenchie.
I love Frenchie. I do. I don't entirely disagree though. Not I liked the storyline. I just don't know if it necessarily fit in with the story they were telling for the rest of the stuff that was going on. Because it did kind of feel like they were like, well, we got to give Frenchie something to do this season.
It felt like that. It was like,
and it's a bit disappointing in that sort of sense because I actually did love the content of what they were doing with Frenchie. It just didn't fit with what everything else that was going on.
Yeah, it felt a bit out of place for me, and I was like, whenever those scenes or those or that storyline came up, I was a bit like, it's like I didn't feel connected to it at all. Like,
I don't entirely. I mean, I had enough of a connection to it because I was like, oh fuck, I forgot I love Frenchie. I love Frenchie, but I also kind of I did also kind of feel like why this story at this point in time, because maybe it's just because I don't remember exactly where we left things in season 2 because it has been. It was one of our like last episodes that we did just as like an audio.
Yeah.
So that was back in the sort of rear end of 2020.
2020, yeah.
So, it's an interesting. It has been a while, essentially. I don't remember, but like it felt odd in comparison to everything else.
Yeah.
But I still, I thought that the actual emotional content of it was.
Yeah, I mean that was good. But I like you said it as well. Like it felt like that they just needed something for Frenchie, and I don't think this was it.
It's like this story at another point where it made sense within the like thematic.
Yeah.
I suppose I could see maybe what they were trying to do, like in comparison to like Huey's storyline, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
In this sort of, I don't know. It just didn't work in the sort of wider. I don't know if there was like a theme they were going for in the season, but I feel like that's probably the issue that I'm having. That is that I'm like, what theme were you going for this season? Because there was like a mishmash of stuff going on.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that they should have just focused on Soldier Boy, because
Sorry.
What?
Immediately got Soldier Boy like the song in my head. That's not happened for everybody else saying Soldier Boy. Just in that moment, I was like, oh my god.
Soldier Boy. Yeah, I mean, it was promoted through him. 99% of the time, like, Jensen is coming and it's Soldier Boy time and whatever, and I was like, okay, and he's in it, and he's definitely very, very important. That much is for sure, but I kind of wish that they would have focused more on him and built.
I'm the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm realizing it didn't feel like there was a theme. And I think that really has let it down. And maybe it's just because I'm a bit obsessed with themes at the moment. Themes. But I do think themes are very important in storytelling. I'm doing have you seen the Stephen, the Fry and Laurie? That's what I'm thinking about. The theme of the week is themes.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know, I mean, there was so much potential there to pull everyone more around the soldier boy things happening.
Sorry.
You just get just the Jensen things happening.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, sorry. It's just because my friend Kevin didn't. I was just putting a comment. Hi, Kevin. So literally all I
Kevin.
could think about was the Soldier Boy was mentioned was the song. I'm like, I can't believe it's only this time.
It's because I say it.
I think honestly, it might be your accent and the way that you
I-
say it. It's closer to the way that they say it in the song.
it might be. It might be. It's my wonderful accent. Where was I? I have no idea.
Yeah, I think we were just dancing around the fact that he's not the.
Yeah, we needed more.
Mm.
We needed more because I found the character incredibly interesting as well.
Me too.
And I think that they definitely made the right choice, made Jensen, because he was fucking great. You could just feel how much he enjoyed the role, and you know, just it's gonna sound weird, but just basically just putting Dean in the corner and being like, just shh, go there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be an asshole now, like a proper asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah. Well, even though we are like, you know, saying all this stuff, I do think that it was
It's still good.
fucking great. Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking good. Like I really enjoyed it, and I still don't like we are releasing 3 episodes and then one by
Yeah, it's odd, especially with this season,
yes,
because it did really feel like they were just like, here's 3 hours of first episode, and then we'll actually get into the stuff that you want to see, and it's like,
yeah,
all right.
felt weird. Well, let's get into it a bit more. In
Spoiler
detail.
time.
Spoiler time.
If you haven't
my
seen
friends.
season 3 of The Boys, now would be the time to stop watching and go and watch season 3 of The Boys.
Please.
And then also the other stuff. Like, technically, if you haven't seen any of The Boys, you should go watch the first 2 seasons and then season 3, because that's how chronology works. You get the
Just
idea.
watch it. It's great.
Right. Spoiler time. Where do you want to start?
I don't know.
Good. We're really good at this.
Maybe we're just
Formatting.
nailing it. Just today is just so good. I don't know. I don't know, where should we start? Let's start with Butcher, because I am
Okay. Interesting. I found considering the episode where he gets like mind prisoned, I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh, yeah.
And he ends up like in the memories of him like leaving Lenny and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
I felt like that didn't have as much of a like consequence as it should have. Like that whole thing was like a proper setup for somebody to have gone through a change.
Yeah.
And he kind of didn't. Nothing that's been like, you know, nothing that felt like a massive shift in character. Like nothing earned came out of it. I feel like, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though I really like the episode, I like the concept. I love dream
very
sequences
good, yeah.
and like
Yeah.
being stuck in memories and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing. That's I love that as a framing device. I think it's great. I love it every time.
Yeah.
I just felt like it didn't. I don't know. There wasn't enough of a follow through on it that made me go, oh okay.
No, there really wasn't, and it's a bit annoying because you know, I don't like what they did to him.
So you don't like the fact that he's now dying?
No.
Okay.
No. I hate it, like, you know, and I hated his whole arc in this season. Like, you know, we can get into the debate that it's the compound, the temper compound that you know, brings out the worst from them. But I think that given the previous seasons, it was already established that he's not just an asshole.
No, it's the thing. I also don't think it was like. I don't think that idea that like oh the V's bringing out the worst in people. I don't know if that was like sold well enough.
No.
Or even the opposite, like, or even the opposite, that people think that it's going to bring out the worst in them, but actually it's just making them more themselves, which is the thing that Butcher says to Maeve. which I agree with. But I don't
Yeah.
know if that was established or like shown in a way that was like made sense to us as an audience. I don't know. I mean, he's Carl Urban is great. Everybody in it is amazing as usual. You know.
Oh my, yeah.
Carl Urban's great. I did have to get used to the accent because it had been so long.
I know. I was like, oh, I need to turn on the subtitles.
It's a bit. It's kind of like, okay, it's so close to being like good, but it's like, it's slightly like not realistic enough.
Which is, I don't think it's. I think he's doing it.
Oh yeah, I think it's very character based,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with that. But it was
Yeah.
like, oh, I did have to take a bit. It did take me a minute to get used to it again. I'm like, okay, right, this is the voice.
And I loved it because I think I said it in last week's episode as well, that if you watch the Sea Beast, where he's one of the voices, and he constantly says like lad and things like that, and it suddenly the butcher comes out of him, and I'm like, hello. But yeah, I had to turn on the subtitles for him.
That's
I was
fair.
like, I can't understand you, my guy, but you're fucking great again. I just didn't. I really didn't like that they made him this. He wasn't caring for anyone. He was just dead set on.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a run on from what I mean, again, it's been a while since season 2, but it didn't feel like this. It didn't feel like a run on. It felt like a regression in order to make this story what they wanted it to be. And even then, I don't know if that was effective.
Yeah,
as I have mentioned already a few times.
That's fair. Which brings us to, I believe we have to talk about Huey as well.
Right. So we've talked about Huey quite a bit, but I've got issues with the way that they did Huey's story this time. I feel like we're just complaining about the season. It was really good.
It was really good. Like we don't know what's happening. Okay, it just needs to be said.
I want to dig into the things that I feel like didn't work, because I think the show is good enough that I want to be able to take apart when it doesn't work. I want to get into Huey. I just wanted to talk because we have a comment here in the chat from Catalina, I think it is, who said, "I thought Termite's death was the funniest and most satisfying thing in the entire series. Do you agree? If not, who?" I knew about that going in just because it kind of got spoilt for me immediately, and I didn't watch all the season until like episode 7. I have been I don't know, is lovingly the right word, but like maybe affectionately referring to it as Dick Thanosing. It's great. It was really good. I am very glad. Like, actually, some of the things I loved most about this season were like the small like references to stuff in the real world. So
just perfectly done.
The Imagine video really, I died. It killed me. I went, no, you can't do this.
I love the fake, the Pepsi parody.
I saw that in the trailer and was like, no, oh my god, I can't believe this.
I was like, yeah, well done.
Those were the moments where I think this season actually really shined.
Oh yeah.
In the midst where it really was taking the satire part very seriously and like going so over the top with it. Those are the bits that I was like, effective. That's the boys that I love and I think is good.
Yeah. But if we're the most satisfying death, or what was it?
Yeah, I think it's the funniest or most satisfying is what she said.
What was the asshole's name who was killing black people? Blue Hawk?
Oh yeah, that was. I was kind of surprised they killed him so quickly. Actually, to be honest.
I loved him.
Yeah.
And you know, we're gonna go back to Huey, but I would just say that I'm hoping that they are doing more with A-Train.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because that feels like the beginning of something, and I felt like I'm going back to complaining about things again, but again, it didn't feel like a complete arc. It felt like somebody seeing an arc and then going completely in the wrong direction.
Yeah. So they need to pick that back up because it's.
I think they will. I think that actually the interesting thing is that in that last scene with Homelander and A-Train and the Deep.
Yes.
I think you can see the facade of the whole thing really crumbling for him, and I want more of that. Because I actually think that he's I think he's got the potential to go from like somebody who genuinely is kind of an asshole to
Yeah.
maybe like an
Yeah.
actual hero.
Yeah. I think so too. But and especially, where I saw it the most, it was in the Herogasm episode, which was fucking great. But
The apology to Huey.
yes, when Huey says that you never apologized, and
He actually did it, and
this
it
time,
meant
yeah, and it
something.
was it was genuine, and I was like, oh God, like that scene there, I love that so much. I actually watched it back like quite a few times.
really
I
good.
think it was so well
Herogasm
done.
genuinely was a highlight. Like
It
the
was.
entire episode was. It was
Yeah.
really good. That episode, I feel like it feels it maybe on a sort of thematic, I guess, or vibe based scale, felt kind of similar to the when they broke into the was it a lab when they met one of the twins. I can't remember their names now. When they
yeah.
went to go find Lamplighter. Is that his name?
Yes.
And Huey got completely fucked up. I really liked that episode in the last season. It felt like that kind of, it got me, it gave me the same sort of like,
Okay. Let's talk about Huey.
okay,
Keep
yes, let's
going
yeah,
somewhere.
because I think nice enough segue. We've talked about them a little bit. I don't think like they were. I just don't think that the story they were trying to tell with him this season was effective. And I realize that this is something we're saying about a lot of people in this season.
Yes.
But him in particular, it was the one I had an issue with as I was watching it, and I was texting you as I was watching the season.
Yeah.
They were clearly going for this toxic masculinity thing about him doing all this dangerous stuff in order to satisfy some personal like need to be strong and like to save people and all that sort of stuff. And I get that's what they were going for, and I have wondered aloud if this is specifically because it's just Jack Quaid seems so nice. And he brings a sort of certain like genuine like earnestness and kindness to Huey that maybe if he didn't have that whole thing would work a little bit better. But I just don't. It felt unfair to him because he's not like he isn't like he is too earnest for it to feel like he's just being an asshole for the sake of like wanting to be strong. Because I don't see anything wrong with him because the show already paints him as weak.
Mm-hmm.
So him having this want to actually feel useful doesn't feel like a stretch to me. So it's like I didn't, and I understand that he was going too far in a lot of ways.
He was
in multiple ways this season.
Yeah.
The whole teaming up with Soldier Boy and like letting him go on this sort of murder tour in order to kill Homelander, I get it. It was too much. But the fight that he had with Annie in Herogasm, where she basically makes out like the idea of him not being okay with the fact that she was stronger than him, in that like after all of this time, makes him like the worst person alive. It bugged me because I'm like, no, I don't think that that's true. And I feel like she wasn't giving the allowance. There was a middle ground in this whole thing that I felt like got missed, essentially. Wherein, yes, I think Huey went too far in multiple ways, but also, I don't think she was hearing him properly. And I feel like the narrative really wanted us to be siding with her in that moment, and I was not on her side. Like, not totally. And it bugged me. It really, really bugged me.
I know.
I liked the way that they did the sort of, I mean, no, maybe it felt a little bit on the nose to have the whole, like, oh, I've picked up the compound lead, maybe I'll take it again. And he goes, no, I won't take this again. Instead, I'll help my girlfriend.
I did like
it.
It
Ended up with her getting a very cool moment. I did like that.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit sort of like, oh, he's obviously not going to take that again.
I don't think it was that obvious, like,
okay, maybe not entirely
scared.
obvious. But like, I felt like I could see the structure of the storytelling going on that,
Yeah. No, I agree at the end of the day, but it just once again it felt like something that could work. I'm not saying it couldn't, but it just kind of didn't. In a way, like there was more there.
I feel like if it would have maybe worked on a better level for me if he'd been more actively like angry at her for
For
not for
example, yeah,
being
yeah, yeah,
like stronger than him and all that sort of stuff. Um, but he's not. It's the thing. I think he's got a perfectly valid concern, and like I think it's very valid for a person like that to be like, everybody around me is very like
yeah,
skilled at their things, and I feel like I'm not contributing enough. So I'm going to do this thing to help me feel a bit more useful and actually feel like I'm contributing something. And you
yeah.
can go, okay, I get that, but you're going about it the wrong way. Why don't we figure out? I just want somebody to teach him how to fight. Like, I feel like that's where we're at this point. Somebody actually give Huey some like hand-to-hand martial arts
Or
training
something, or
or
just
something.
teach him how to shoot a gun or something. You know.
Something, I don't know, just something that you so you can be like, okay, Huey can actually look after himself, because there are multiple times where it's like, yeah, Huey's a liability in this situation, and he knows it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's my main issue with the whole thing. I just didn't feel like it hit in the way that they wanted it to, which is a
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah. But we'll see. I think it's something that's gonna come back
I
in
hope
season
so.
4, because
I hope that they
there's-
develop beyond the sort of his like recognition that like strength looks
Oh, yeah.
different to different people. I also feel like, because he got introduced as the tech guy, he doesn't get to use that very often.
No,
Let him
not
be
really.
useful.
I mean, sometimes it comes
It
up.
gets on sometimes, but not nearly enough, is what I'm saying.
Fair. That's a fair point. You know, I really agree on that as well. But let's talk about Homelander.
Oh, okay.
I really want to talk about Homelander.
So
because-
you forced a thing out of me last week,
Yes.
that I wanted to hold on to.
I don't have regrets, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, I found it very interesting that I wasn't scared of Homelander this season. Like, I just didn't feel scared of him like I have done in previous seasons, where I was like, oh my god, he really could just like kill everybody at a moment's notice. And I think it's because I know that now that he won't. He's not going to kill everybody at a moment's notice because he cares too much about what they think of him. And I think that took the scariness out of him for me and made him kind of interesting in a different way. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing at all. I just found it very interesting that I went in and I was like, you don't scare me anymore.
But here's the thing. I think that it was already implied that, you know, if it's someone from his own team or someone he doesn't like, he's gonna kill them. He
Yeah.
doesn't care. If it's civilians and you can see him in the act, he probably won't do it.
Yeah.
Like you know, he's gonna imagine it, like that beautiful scene in season 2 that was
See,
fucking
that's the thing. I think that's the version of Homelander that I do find frightening. The one that
That's
that
fine,
feels
yeah.
like you're on a live wire, and if you piss him off too much, he's gonna just start killing
Yeah.
thousands. But
I mean,
now, I don't think he'll ever do that. I don't think
I'm on the completely on the opposite side, especially after that ending that we just got, where he literally killed a civil person.
Yeah, I
Bright
guess, but
daylight, and
that's
everyone-
right at the end, and it's like
Oh, but it's
I want to be able to see the fallout for that later on, because I feel like I feel like the absolutely
be
have
one.
to. Yeah, I know, but at this point in time, where I'm sitting with what I've seen, I'm like, that's the mood I'm in. I'm like,
I think he just became a lot scarier because he just realized that even if he kills someone, no matter what happens, it's people that are gonna be people who are gonna be celebrating him.
I understand that intellectually. It just it's right now it's not hitting on an emotional level. Like, and I think it's just
fair.
because we haven't had enough of what that looks like yet.
That's fair. But you know, for me, it was the smile at the end when he realizes it, and he just smiles. You know, then Anthony Starr does it so well.
Yeah, I do love he's quite the way he manages to do that without having any, like, there was just no emotion behind the eyes. And it's
Yeah. It's fucking scary as hell. It's like, oh god, he's so good. He
He's
was
great.
robbed. He was robbed. He should have been nominated. I really think he should have been. He's just that scene by the mirror.
That was really good. That was one of the highlights, I think, for me. He was
Definitely.
really really good in that. But I think
So good.
actually that was one of the things that took out that level of fear, I guess, about him. Because
but that was the point.
I guess again, I say I find it interesting, not bad, that I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't. God, I don't know how to talk about him is the thing, because it's not like I like him.
Oh no,
But
no.
he's.
We don't like him.
He's something. He's just something. He's just interesting.
He's
studying him like a bug. I'm like, what are you?
For me, Homelander is on the same level as the Joker, because Joker was always my favorite villain ever created for anything, and Homelander is now definitely there because I find him incredibly interesting. I don't like him. I think
it's hard to say. It's like not him as a person that I like, but him as a character is like, yes, I like this. I like the things that are going on here, and I like the work that he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that sort of stuff. That's exactly. Interesting. I want more of the. I mean, I think part of the reason I'm so kind of disappointed is I want more of what's clearly being set up with that final scene with him and the Deep. Shut the fuck up, Kevin. Sorry. He said no enough Homelander apologizer. Katie. Like, no. Fuck off. God damn it, Kevin. I forgot what I'm saying.
The Deep and Homelander.
Yeah, that's the beginning of something that I feel like could be interesting. Like, and will be interesting. And it felt like it took us too long to get to this point.
I didn't mind that as much.
This feels like an in-between season for me. I think that's the big thing. It feels like that. I think this season will look a whole lot better when we have what the fallout is. And I'm fine with that. Overall. It's just at this point in time, I'm like, you know.
I know. You know, that's fair. I was so happy when Simon Pegg showed back up. I was like, oh, I was like, yay! Simon. Wish he would be in it more. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know,
bless.
He's Huey's dad. So, you know, why not? But also, I freaking love Seth Rogen's cameo.
Oh God. I mean, I forgot that this is also kind of like his project, you know?
Of course it is.
I forgot, and that was just definitely a stark reminder. I was like, all right, yeah, I forgot that this is a thing. Yeah, sure, okay.
It was so great. When he showed up, I was like, of course you show up here. Like, you know, in this scene. So good. I fucking love that scene. As what was Crimson? What was her name?
My brain's saying Crimson Right, but like I don't know. That's not. That's a different thing. That's I think that's a D&D.
We don't know names, so just get used to it, guys. Crimson something. And she turns around.
Countess.
Crimson Countess. And just Butcher just comes in from the side and just bop. I laughed at that scene so much.
Bless.
It's like, okay, that was just great. Like, you know, well done. Okay, yes. Let's talk about Jensen.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean he was great.
Other than that,
I think I said this to you last week because we had a small discussion last week after we finished. A little one. Just the scene in the last episode where he's just talking about his dad and that whole that was where I was like, fuck, I forgot Jensen's a really, really good actor. That was a really good scene.
It's really good.
And it's kind of what I wanted more of from him the whole time.
Yep. I mean, he's great as this big asshole.
Some of those lines really just took me out. It's him waking up in the back of the car. Where's the golf guzzler?
So good.
It's horrifying things. Also, that final fuck you that he says to Butcher,
Oh,
nailed.
yeah,
And because
yeah.
that's the sort of thing you've been wanting to hear Dean say for like 16 fucking years.
Oh, yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like, oh, that was satisfying as hell.
yeah. It really was. But yeah, I think I mean, Eric Kripke said that it is highly possible that he comes back. I mean, he's not dead.
It just feels like a waste to just do that and then be done
Exactly.
with him.
Yeah. That's my point as well. Like, I loved the fact. What I really loved is that obviously it's revealed that Homelander
It's his son.
is his son. And I'm just so glad that they didn't turn it around and turn made him turn on the boys, and he was like, "You're a fucking disappointment." That line.
Oof.
It's like,
Actually,
and
now that we're here,
yes,
sorry, let me finish your thought.
yeah,
But I do want to. I think I want to talk about that whole sequence a little bit. Did you have any
you
more
can.
of that thought?
No, 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 no.
Okay. Well, so I saw a couple of people, specifically on Tumblr,
Yes.
afterwards, being a bit like, I can't believe that Butcher would stop him from killing Homelander. Just let the boy die. And I was a bit like, Jesus Christ, you guys. But at the same time, I feel like there was a way easier version of that scene where it's like, don't kill the kid. Anyway, back to it. It was very odd that they did such a hard cut.
Yeah.
And I feel like the idea was that it was meant to be like, maybe we've gone, maybe we shouldn't just be like doing the whole just wanton murder thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was meant to be like Butcher's like realization, but maybe he doesn't want to be that person. I don't know, but it just didn't work. But it was a bit. I find the person that was just like, oh, just kill the kid. I'm like, okay.
Holy shit.
No.
Even though I told you this, because I did, for me the weakest point is Ryan in the whole thing. Like, ever since they introduced him in season 2, sorry for the kid who plays him, I don't know your name, I'm really bad with names, we established this. It's not good acting for me, I'm not gonna lie. I said this to you. There's something there, definitely, and I saw it in that very last scene.
I
in
think
the last episode.
yeah,
but
and I expressed my feelings about the whole thing. It's like I clearly can see that they're going down this route of like nature versus nurture. I feel like he's going to have an arc that looks a lot more tumultuous than just like Homelander was nice to him once and now he's evil, because that's boring.
that's boring.
That's
Yeah.
boring,
Yeah,
and like there's
yeah.
no way that, because he's already had, and I think there's enough of a build up for him, from his childhood with Becca, teaching him how to be good and how to be kind, and what the point of human life is, that kind of thing. For him to just sort of be like, killing people is great, that kind of thing. I feel like there is going to be this dichotomy between him of like having the side of him that comes from Homelander and is that kind of side of it, the nature kind of side of it, and then you've got the nurture side of it that I feel like, I don't know, there's a whole thing there that I think is going to be interesting, but we're taking a very long time to get there.
Yeah. And the other thing, I think that I would have introduced Jensen's character maybe in a later season, because I think it's fairly obvious that he could have easily killed Homelander with his powers, and that's why they kind of got rid of him here, because he was like,
if they kept going, he would have died. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, and they needed something of why it wouldn't happen, because let's be fair, it's clear that Homelander is their big card in the whole series. So if they get rid of him in season 3, but then they announce 4 more seasons where he's not in it, then how are you gonna find someone who's just as menacing and whatnot as he is? So I feel like that maybe they brought him in
Just a smidge too early.
Just a smidge too early, yeah. Just a tiny bit. I think it could have been waited like another season, maybe. I would say, and I think that's why I don't like the whole Butcher is dying and he only has
It
like
feels
a
like
year.
we're already heading towards an end game, right?
Yeah.
I'm honestly the thing is I kept expecting with the reveal that compound the V24 kills people after a certain amount of doses. Like it just like I thought he was gonna end up taking the actual V.
Oh yeah. That's
Where I'm That was
Yeah.
where I was expecting it to go, and I'm
Yeah.
still kind of expecting it to go, or at least maybe it
Possible.
did. Well, I thought it was going to go to this season. Now because he's decided not, like he's clearly just sort of accepted his fate, and he's like, well, this is happening.
Yeah.
It feels more like maybe there'll be a choice, and at some point it'll be like a honor versus like living kind of situation. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean that's what I'm thinking as well. Like it's gonna come down to that because I think the moment that they manage to kill Homelander, that's gonna be the end of the boys.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, once he's gone.
Yeah, and now that just makes me think about the fact that if they're gonna do that thing of Butch is gonna end up dying in order to fulfill like a personal growth arc, like somehow the only reason the way he's gonna be sort of the best version of himself is in death, and it's gonna be that. I don't know. I am speculating here, so obviously they haven't done anything to back up them. Hopefully that it will be better than that. But the idea of that happening just makes me feel a bit. It's because it's dull, you know.
It is.
I find it much more interesting for people to have to live with the consequences of their actions and have to force themselves to be better every day, because it's harder that way. It makes for more interesting storytelling.
Exactly. I'm still trusting them that it's gonna be something more interesting than that.
My hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah. My hope is that.
Yeah.
That is the case. Yeah.
I think so far we are good. With it's going at a to great direction and let's hope that it's all gonna. I don't want many seasons, like many more seasons. I think
I reckon maybe 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's what
I feel like that's good.
Yeah, especially now that they announced that there's going to be a spin-off series as well. Yeah, I feel like there's 2 more seasons because obviously Homelander cannot live forever. Like that's the end game, killing him and getting rid of him. And I really think that when that happens, that's the end of this storyline.
Yeah,
and then there's many more in the boys, so they could be going to different directions as well. But favorite character this season, and that's my last question about the boys.
Just want to go over a couple of things real quick. Yes. I really liked MM's storyline this season. I thought that they handled that with a lot of love and care and attention. I thought it was. I liked the fact that and I appreciate the fact that that his OCD was
exactly
portrayed in like the fact that they clearly showed that he developed OCD from a traumatic event, which is a thing that does happen. I feel like people just think that OCD is just like you're born with a disorder, but no, it is I think it can be that way. I don't know that much about OCD, but I think the part of it is that it comes from a traumatic event, or can come from a traumatic event, and that sort of thing. I just thought that they did the whole thing spectacularly, and he's amazing in the whole thing, and I thought he really was a highlight for me that whole season. I really liked the scene where he's like explaining how much he really wants to be there for I can't remember his daughter's name, I'm sorry, but his daughter to his ex-wife, and she's like, I give you permission to go, you need to go and finish this. You've been doing the work, I see you're doing the work, but it's clearly this is not working for you, and I want you to be able to. Yeah. And I like the fact that there was that kind of handing over of like, I give you permission now. I was like, that's good stuff. I like that a lot. I really like that. And I know that we both agreed that Frenchie's storyline didn't really. I still love Frenchie.
I love Frenchie.
I adore him so much. I forgot how much, and then he came in. I was like, oh, Frenchie.
Yes. Frenchie's great. I love Frenchie.
Maybe I don't know if there's a whole lot of Kimiko, I think maybe my favorite always though. Even in
Same.
this season, I love Kimiko so much. I really
Kimiko is the
liked
greatest.
I think I actually really liked the way that they did her storyline this season as well.
I agree.
She's amazing.
Yes.
Her actress's name I can't.
Karen Fukuhara.
That's right, Karen. Just incredible. I loved that. I
Yep.
liked the whole dancing. I kind of wish that the musical stuff happened more.
Yes, I know.
It was really good.
No. And I think especially the scene where she first imagines the whole I can sing thing. It's just so beautiful, and she was just so great at it. I was like, oh, you sweet girl. I love her so much, and I loved how he realized, because I think that was very important as well, that it was in her, this whole, if I need to protect my family, my loved ones and whatnot, I can do whatever I want. And then it is her choice now to have the compound. I was like, yeah, well done. Well done. I really like that.
I really
that,
liked it. I loved the fact that they kissed. They both found it weird, and they were like,
yes.
let's just agree that our relationship is way more important than that. It doesn't need to be this. It can be. It's bigger than that. I love
Exactly.
you so much, but it doesn't need to look like this. Because
Yeah.
it's still romantic, and it's still all these other things. I love complicated and like broad versions of love, like shown in interesting ways. I really love that whole thing of just sort of like, hey, it was kind of weird. I still love you.
Yeah, it was so beautiful, so well done, honestly, and they are both amazing. So I'm always happy when we can see them more. So season 4, please, we need more from them.
Better storyline for French.
Yes, yes, please, please. But yeah, my favorite was is Kimiko. I love Kimiko.
I love her
She's
so
great.
much.
She's great. But yeah, what's your rating on season 3?
Are we doing this out of 10?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. This seems harsh, but I'm doing it based off of previous seasons.
Okay.
Not on like a broad, like I'm not comparing this to other television. I'm comparing this specifically to the other seasons.
Yes.
I think I'm 6.5.
Oh, that is harsh.
It is a little bit harsh, but I don't. Yeah, again, in comparison to the other seasons, I think that's where I want to put it. In comparison to the other shows, I don't know. It's obviously way better than that, but I don't really have a number for it. But like, the only way I can kind of compare it is to the other seasons, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Oh, okay. Then mine is gonna be very, very cheery, because I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay. I'll put it this way. I feel like in comparison to like television in general, I'd probably give it an 8.
Yeah.
In comparison to the other seasons, I give it, I think, a 6.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Sorry, small thing. And I read an interview about this, so I am correct in saying this. They made it the Kripke deciding very, very specifically to not kill Maeve because he didn't want to do the bury your gaze trope. Loved it.
Oh yeah.
So happy.
Yeah. Oh,
you were like screaming Maeve, and I was like, yeah, just do it.
I was so worried. I was like, no, you can, and then.
Also, actually, probably one of my favorite moments of the entire season was Huey walking into the room and going, "Hey, Maeve, it's so nice to see you. I'm glad you're doing okay." And her just turning to him, no provocation, going, "It's like you're wearing a shirt that says Raw Dog Me, I'm a bottom." I was just sitting there going, he didn't say anything. Nothing promoted. Like, there was no reason to say that. Kills me. But I love the fact that I mean, part of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because of like her falling from that height. She should be dead. But yes. I don't care. I like the fact that Kripke was like very aware of the fact that that it would have been another example of that trope, and he went, "No, we're not doing that.
No,
she gets to go and be happy." Yes, no more burying your gays. Send them on vacation. You're so right, Kevin.
Yeah, loved it as well. All right. The Boys season 3 is out. If you haven't watched it yet, we spoiled the whole thing now. So
actually, we haven't talked about Deep.
We haven't, but what should we say about the Deep?
Just
I
that
don't think.
I feel like they're going backwards with him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I
agree.
want. It feels like he's doing this with like
Yeah.
his character. I just want him to pick a direction and go with it.
Yeah.
Make him bad or make him good. I don't mind. And I don't even, not even like that. I don't know. I just want him to pick a direction with him. Is he gonna like do better or is he gonna be worse? Because it feels like he's now also in a state of like, I guess I'm just a lackey, but he also feels like he's been a lackey this entire time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want him to pick a direction. That's all.
I think he's gonna be worse, to be fair. But
I'd be fine with that. I just want him to go somewhere.
Yeah. No, I agree. Completely fair point. But yeah, go watch The Boys. It's really good.
Yes.
And then for next week and the week after, next week we might still have Katie. We'll see. We might have an interview next week. We'll see.
It's all dependent on whether or not we end up having the interview next week. If we have the
Yes.
interview next week, it may be that I'm not here.
Might be.
But if we don't have the interview, then I'm more likely to be here.
Yes, exactly.
It's a
And
scheduling thing.
It is. And then the
week after
we can have the lovely pagan. She's gonna be my co-host. So,
I'm going on holiday. That's why.
Yes.
I'm
That's
going
the reason.
to a wedding.
Yes.
See some family.
Yes. So we see what the future holds. We don't know what we're gonna talk about, so don't ask that. We're gonna talk about a movie or a TV show or just random stuff about movies and TV shows. I don't know. We figure it out as always. But we love you all.
I gotta push the buttons to stop doing this.
You
I do.
You do that, but I will just do this. Like, love you. Bye.
Okay. I don't know. I really should